Shut up and don't tell me how to do things. I'm not saying that I'm special, I'm just unique. I am marching to my own beat. Mine's my playground, but it's really not amusing. Come out back and play, I'll show you where I keep my mood swings. Rhymes are random, I know it's confusing. That's just me, it's how I do things. Thoughts are getting darker, terrible like loose leaves. Please don't take advantage, please don't use me, or your jaw gon' hang like curtains loosely. I'm obsessive, I know things consume me. Overanalyze until my face turns blue. See what you say, what didn't.
What's up, everyone? Welcome to another episode of the 49ers Podcast Network. Accompanied with Mariah from 49er Faithfully. Welcome, Mariah. How you doing?
What's up?
And
Good. How are you guys?
Good. And then we got 49er Media in the house. What's up, 49er Media?
Doing all right. Just trying to go through the pain of Arizona losing in the first round of the March Madness. So
Sorry, team.
it's-
Not to say the least.
so
Oh man,
Hey, Christian is gonna have fun during the show. Just that within
Dude,
itself, you
dude.
can tell.
do you guys not remember the chat when I said we wanted to do a buy-in for the bracket because I told him I
Yeah.
wanted to take his money because Arizona was going to lose?
Yep. Yeah.
It's just perfect. It's so funny.
And before I can introduce Ryan, he left. So hopefully when he comes back,
He already
we'll
had
introduce
enough.
him. Yeah. So this is the crew. Welcome everyone. Let me run the chat here. Let's go ahead and welcome John. What's up, John? How you doing? Welcome to the show. Nobody Brandon does this part, but welcome. We got 49er Throwback in the chat. Welcome, 49er Throwback. We got Daniel Cantu in the house. What's up, brother? Good to see you, my friend. We got Alberto Soto in the casa. What's up, brother? Welcome to the show. Damien Lee's in the house. What's up, Damien? Welcome, welcome. So this is going to be an interesting show. There's a lot of moves, a lot of changes since the last time we came on. A few players gone, and a few players are now part and officially part of the 49ers. The ink is probably dried about now. Welcome back there, Mr. Ryan. I was just about to introduce you when you left. So this is our boy Ryan
For some
from No
reason-
Motorsports.
Couldn't hear it.
Oh, you couldn't?
Can you hear it?
Can you
Yeah.
hear us now?
Oh, I can hear you now. It was telling me that my mic was muted for the. I'm not seeing any video. All talking. I was like, yeah, that's not a good.
Oh yeah, no. Yeah, I was right introducing and boop. I'm like, okay, well, wait. What's up, Bebop Jones? Welcome to the stream, brother. Welcome. Orale way. Welcome. We got
Bebop
David
Baroni.
McNiner / Meat Chicken in the house. What's up, brother? I said hi to the everyone. So a few changes were made. We lost a couple of players and we gained a couple of players. So let me go ahead and start off with Christian. Christian, let me ask you, out of the 4 players that we added to, which one do you feel more excited about coming to? I got a feeling I already know which one it is, but coming to the Niners and becoming a new Niner.
I mean, it's kind of like by default has to be Hargrave, right? He was ranked the #1 free agent in all of free agency this year, and we landed him. You know, he's going to anchor our defense. And like I've been always saying, we always want to have that powerful defensive line, and that's where it all starts for our defense. John Lynch wants to build that defensive line. It's what he's been trying to do since he got here. So it's pretty exciting. It's going to be cool to see how the defensive line looks this year. You know, we still got to find somebody else for the edge. So we have some pieces for the defensive line. I don't think we're finished. Hopefully, by the time the season starts, we'll have a pretty good defensive line. But that I would definitely say that's the most exciting, just because he's really good. I think he had 11 sacks last year. That's pretty good for an interior defensive lineman.
11 sacks, and what caught my eye more than the sacks is the 66 pressures that he had coming from that. I mean, this guy's just causing chaos to the quarterback and pushing that that offensive line backwards, and that's what I love.
Mhm.
Don't get me wrong, I love sacks and the sacks, but I'm always looking out for the pressures. I want to see how chaotic a player can be, and him now being combined with Nick Bosa, as we remember in 2019, Eric Armstead had one of his best years because he had Buckner and Bosa teaming up and just bringing havoc. Now I don't know who's going to take D Ford's spot. Hopefully, fingers crossed, is Drake Jackson in year 2, but we'll have to wait and see. Mariah, who was your best player or excited player that got you? And I kind of already know because if I'm not mistaken, in one of your shows you mentioned they asked you, I think Grant show, you were asked who would you want to bring in, and I believe Hargrave was the pick. So talk to me a little bit about Hargrave and how you're feeling about now that it's actually he's a Niner officially.
Yeah, I did. He was the pick, the selfish. I didn't think the 49ers would actually go out and spend that kind of money for that on that position. So that was just my selfish wish list pick. But yeah, when I seen that the 49ers made that a reality and to see him actually, I was still kind of nervous, till it was officially official and he put ink to paper today and the 49ers, we seen it come through. I was like, I don't want to get too excited. We did all these shows about it. I've talked about it a million times and then something happens and he pulls through or, you never know what's going to happen. So I was still kind of nervous, but yeah, you don't know, shit, something happens with the physical or who knows these days, So today when it finally went through, like, man, that D line is going to be so scary. And, like you guys said it, to just free up Bosa even, for Bosa to get defensive player of the year, to have as many sacks as he did. And that's with him being the only monster on the defensive line. Now to add in somebody like that frees up Armstead. Hopefully Armstead's healthy. And like you said, I'm counting on Drake Jackson to be, that guy. So, yeah, that defensive line should eat, which then, helps the rest of the defense. So, yeah, I'm super excited about that signing.
Awesome. Hey, Brandon, welcome to the show, brother. Hey, I got to reset. My sound.
What's up?
My soundboard. It's sounding like waterfall. Can you guys hear that?
Yeah, I can hear it.
It might be me.
Oh, you're doing that on purpose.
No. So I'm gonna reset it. So take over for a minute, brother.
Okay. So, what were we covering right now?
Just everyone's like favorite free agent that we signed that's like not outside of our own free agents.
Okay. So who's gone so far? Just Mariah
And Christian.
and Christian. Okay. Ryan, you go next, man. Who's your favorite pick out of these free agents that we signed so far?
It's Javon Hargrave, but I can't remember his name that we picked up from the Raiders.
Cleveland Farrell
from the Raiders. Cleveland Farrell, that guy who I'm excited about, other than Hargrave, because take all the attention, right? So I think who's the other ones? Who's the other ones out of everybody else? Who else is? And him and I think I'm interested to see what they could bring to the table. But Colin. That's what we're going to call him, Farrell.
I like it. Media?
I'm gonna agree with Ryan here, and I think Cleveland Farrell's my favorite one because, like, the thing is, he was a fourth overall pick, with the Las Vegas Raiders, same year as Nick Bosa, and he hasn't really panned out. I think he's had like 10 sacks over the couple of years he's played in this league, so I'm just really excited because I know Chris Kocurek, is, a dog, a monster. I mean, he makes pretty much every defensive lineman look very, very good, and he's gonna have Nick Bosa on that defensive line, Javon Hargrave, Eric Armstead. So I expect Cleveland Farrell to have a pretty solid, be a solid part of this team. So I'm just really happy and excited for Cleveland Farrell.
So
nicely said.
do you guys think we're gonna release Kinlaw, or he's gonna play for another year?
I think he plays for another year.
Yeah, I
saw-
just think they're not going to pick up his 5th-year option and then he'll play his contract out and then they just won't bring him back.
It feels like the money they gave Hargraves was the money they would have intended to give
Buckner.
Kinlaw. No, Kinlaw had he panned out.
Panned out.
Yeah.
Had Kinlaw panned out, maybe that's the money he gets. But since he obviously hasn't panned out, they went and got somebody else. That's what it feels like, at least.
Agreed.
And
Hey, real
someone
quick,
I
guys.
saw in chat said Kalia Davis. I mean, we also have Kalia Davis, who we have to see how, he does. So,
Yeah.
How he plans out.
yeah.
Hey, when I stepped away, did you guys still hear the waterfall?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Still hear it.
So it's not me, then it's weird. Because if it would have been me, it would have left with me.
Was
Somebody
it-
has a fan
So-
blowing. or...
somebody else.
Was it like that before I came in?
Yeah. I don't know.
Okay, so it's
Hold
not
on,
me.
Hold on, guys. Nope. Ah,
That was
It's
it.
Ryan.
Go
and I
figure.
had to go reboot myself. Freaking, I
No
should have known
mames.
better.
Mike was muted that whole time. Like my
No,
mic.
it's you.
Well, it's you.
'Cause
It's
Yeah,
you.
we
'Cause
can
as soon as we
hear.
remove you, the sound goes.
I don't know.
poor Ryan.
Poor Ryan.
I honestly, Hunter, I mean, I laugh, but I do
Restream.
feel bad, bro. Bye. I feel bad
Poor
for him, but
Ryan.
at least I know it's not me, so I'm good.
Yeah. I'm like crossing my fingers. Don't let
I
it be
should
me
have known
when
it
you
was
remove
Right?
Freaking Ryan. I was trying to eliminate one by one to try. Yep. As soon as I clicked that, anyway, it went bloop.
What about you, Beto and Brandon? Who are your players that you guys like?
Of course, it has to be Javon for me. That's an upgrade on the defensive line, and it's going to help out Nick Bosa too a lot, I feel like. So that's my pick, honestly. And I saw also too is who did I see it from? Somebody said that the reason why he picked the Niners as well, I don't know if you mentioned it, Mariah. There was a reason why he picked the Niners. But I can't remember it off the top of my head. Let me see if I can look it up.
Yeah,
But-
he said he picked the Niners because he was iffy about free agency. If he was going to go after the money, he felt that he was going to go to a team that wasn't as good or contender, but they will be willing to pay him a lot of money to go to that team. When he heard the Niners were interested, and he still got the bag, and now he went to a team that was just in the NFC Championship game. He right away, it was an easy choice for him to go to the Niners because now he has a chance to make it back, and he felt that if he has another chance to go to the dance, referring to the Super Bowl, that the Niners give him the best chance, and this is why he chose the Niners over the other teams.
Yeah,
Who
which
you
I
pick?
think the other team was the Browns, if I'm not mistaken, right? And I think they gave him less money.
There were other teams other than the Browns, but Browns is one that they mentioned. But I'm pretty sure a lot of teams were after his services. I mean, the guy is the number one free agent. Can you respond? Unmute. Anyway, he was he was the most highly coveted free agent for his position. And it's just credit to him for being 30, and he just turned 30 last month on February 7th. So it's not like he's been 30, he's going to turn 31. So for 4 years, even if he lasts us 4 years, I think he will be able to play good football here. But I'm with I think it was Ryan that mentioned Colin. They came with us from the Raiders. I'm interested to see what he is. I'm a Clemson Tiger fan, so he comes out of Clemson. So I like what he did there. I think the Raiders don't use their their I mean when their coordinator I forgot his name, the one from the Lions, my, um, was the first year when he first went into there. He did okay, but then they got rid of him, and I think he's coming into a good situation with Chris Kaserik here. I don't. The only thing I question is he has a huge tattoo of the Raiders emblem on his arm. So I don't know how that's going to look on it with the Niner jersey. That's going to be interesting. Is he
Wear
going
a
to cover
sleeve.
it? Yeah, he's a huge tattoo right about right here. So I don't know if he's going to cover it or actually get it removed or put a sleeve on there.
I wouldn't imagine you're going to get it removed. That's a part of your history, a part of your life.
Yeah, and people don't understand that he got drafted with the Raiders. He looks
Exactly.
like a very humble kid that appreciates what he has, and that was a team that took him. And then you go fourth overall in the first round. You really don't expect to go anywhere else. It's like Nick Bosa went two spots ahead of him,
Mhm.
and we're going to renew him now. Bosa's a completely better player than him, but I just think look at Arden Key. He wasn't utilized properly with the Raiders. He came over to us and he was able to play very well, and he got the bag from
Yep.
the Jack, and he's still getting the bag. So maybe he can come over here with Chris Eric, and now that we have freaking Javon Hargrave and Bosa and Dre Jackson steps up as well, he can be a better player. So I'll be interested to see what he does here. But that's my guy. Like everybody knows, the obvious is definitely Hargrave coming in here. I missed the DeForest Buckner force, not necessarily DeForest Buckner himself, but that production that he provided, I missed a lot. So I'm looking forward to get back into that pushing the pocket from the middle and allowing. Can you imagine Nick Bosa without no help whatsoever? Still had 18 and a half sacks.
Yeah.
Now that he's going to have Hargrave to help him out and make Arkansas even better, how much more free Nick is going to be able to do what he wants to do back there. So it's going to be interesting to see how this defensive line is going to look in 2023 if they can stay healthy. And then getting Isaiah Oliver to take the nickel spot for Jimmy Ward. Hopefully he can plan out in that spot. At the very least, he can give Womack competition for that spot. And Womack doesn't have to feel like, okay, this is just my job. Now he has to go out and earn it. So competition's good.
Well, having Wilkes is going to help that too because he's a
Yes.
cornerback. He's a cornerbacks guy, so
Yep.
that actually, I feel like our cornerbacks, DBs, are going to improve in general because of Wilkes is the defensive coordinator.
Man, I sure hope Breezy's guy Ambry Thomas actually is able to get on the field and.
It depends. Maybe we'll play more man coverage under Wilkes. I don't know if he plays man or zone.
Yeah,
but
because Ambry definitely is more of a man guy.
he's a man. He's a lockdown kind of guy, but we played so much zone that he didn't know what the hell he was doing in zone coverage.
Exactly. Yeah. We'll see how Wilkes, but having Wilkes here and bringing his expertise, especially in the secondary, and allowing him to focus not only on the whole defensive side of the ball, but the secondary part, and trusting that Chris Kaserik is going to do his thing with the front four. So all he has to worry about is the linebackers to some extent, and then the secondary. And I'm going to love to see how this defense looks, man. It's going to look very, very different from last year. And we were already the number one defense last year, and that was with no production from the middle. Because listen, Javon Kinlaw, whether he has the talent or not, I don't know if we'll ever know. The fact that his inability to stay on the field because of the knee issues takes too much of him not to play. I don't know how many games he's played since he's been with us. Not many, I can assume, and you can't have that. But now as a rotational, at least for this season, maybe he come in there and do something I'm thinking they might move Armstead to the outside in a couple of plays, and then maybe on third downs they move Armstead
Are you
to the
kidding me?
outside and Kinlaw, both Javon's in the middle with Nick Bosa. I think that might be a possibility. What are you guys' thoughts on that?
Well, I mean, I think you can put Armstead on the outside because I think with Drake Jackson he can stunt, so you can have him move inside of Armstead just because he does really well with the stunts because he's so quick. All of his sacks and pressures came off stunts, so maybe they can play around with how they have him line up.
Yeah. Anyone else?
I think like you can have definitely. I like Armstead personally more in the inside, but like I don't mind putting him on the outside too. Another guy the Niners did bring back today, which I actually really like this move, is Ty McGill. He was on the practice squad, and man, he really did well for the Niners like when he was playing, and so I'm really excited with that move too. But personally, I like Armstead more in the inside, but I wouldn't mind if he gets a few snaps at edge.
Yeah. Armstead.
They
Go ahead.
they used to
Right.
use Eric Armstead, and they still do in first and second down, and then move and bring in like a faster edge. You know what I mean? Take out one of our bigger tackles for third down. So I think they still do that, and I think being on the line could be stunting. You know what I mean? Like with the leads we got starting for, if you're talking about Drake Jackson, Javon, Eric, and Bosa, or Javon Hargrave, obviously, all those guys could do great with stunts. I think the big thing is really it's not setting up Drake Jackson to always stunts to try and get him open. He needs to learn how to win one-on-one. But I think that is a great way to kind of give him looks to kind of facilitate that. Having to coming off, I think, okay, what now? He can use work at that point in time and act like he's stunting, and then go another like that. So I think there's ways for them to use it for him to start build it.
Definitely. I just want to welcome TL to the show. What's up, brother? Welcome. He has a question for us. It says, "What are all your thoughts on Kalia Davis coming in? What are you guys'
What's up,
thoughts?
Rohan?
Anyone
What's
can
up,
take it.
Rohan?
What's up, Rohan? Anybody can take that. What are you guys' thoughts on Kalia Davis? Do you think he'll be impactful now that we have a Hargrave, or do you think he'll just be like a third string, and kind of just come in and relieve and give some other guys ahead of him a little bit of a breather? Or is it really up to him or where he sits in OTAs? Anyone?
Right now I think it's kind of we don't really know because obviously he was on the NFI list because of the injury was in college, so we don't really know too much. But from what we do know is the Niners do seem pretty high on him because Adam Peters, I believe, I remember like when they after the draft, there was one guy that they were comparing Kalia Davis to, and it was DJ Jones. So, that's a high praise. Right now, though, we're just gonna have to see how he looks. In training camp, and make sure his body's right, which seems like he's doing really, really well. But I feel like right now it's unclear because we just need to first see what he's looking like in camp.
Yep. Anyone else?
Mariah, you have anything?
I have no idea what you're even talking about. I wasn't
TL
here.
TL asks, "What are your thoughts on Kalia Davis?"
You gotta let her know. Yeah.
No, I know. I was going back to the comment to pop it up.
Mariah, your thoughts on the wall?
Your thoughts on life?
The wall.
My thoughts on Kalia Davis are I hope he can be something good for us if he's healthy. I think he would have been drafted a lot earlier in the draft had he been healthy. From all accounts, from everything I heard from scouts and whatnot about him, that's what they had said, is he would have gone earlier in the draft if he would have been healthy. But the reason he fell that late to us and we got lucky was because he was injured. So yeah, hopefully he can be somebody for us. Maybe fill that role once Eric is old and gone, or who knows, maybe just as a backup. You never know.
Yeah.
Honestly, when it comes to free agency, what sucked the most was losing Emmanuel Mosley. I thought for sure he would stay.
I thought so too.
We would pay him.
Same.
I thought we could afford him because of the injury, and I thought with having Wilkes as the defensive coordinator, it would have made him stay. So I was kind of blown away that he didn't stay and went to the Lions. It sucks because if we would have signed him for as cheap as it would have been, we'd have had 2 lockdown corners, and it would have been fantastic. But I don't know what we were thinking there.
I think they
I'm sure
did a
TL
decision between Mo and Burford. And I think
Lenore?
they went with the center.
Stupid.
Oh.
Brendel fucking sucks.
Keep in Mosley.
Brendel sucks.
Yeah, but I think
so...
to start off better than to have to get a new center, teach them everything, kind of get them up to par. I think that was the thing. They wanted Trey Lance to start with her that had some experience.
I guess, but the problem is that I still don't feel like we actually even have put enough into the offensive line. Like, we don't care. Like, we don't think it's a priority. Like, to be honest, I like the Hargraves signing, but in my opinion, the money's better spent on the offensive line because we lost 4 quarterbacks last season altogether. So I think shoring up that right side is more important because every time our guys got hurt, it was from the right side. So that's our weakness, and I would have liked to see them care more about it. Like, I like the Hargraves signing, but I would have much rather put money into the offensive line.
There's still time to be able to find a right tackle, or even in the draft too. So
yeah, see, but there's not a lot of right tackle is not deep in the draft. That's one of the offensive line positions that's not deep. We could find a center, I think, which is why I don't think we should,
for sure.
Which is why I would have been fine not paying Brendel, because we could have found a center in the draft. But I would have liked to find a right tackle.
Well, let me ask you guys this:
But
I'm also wondering, because we have Nick Sikel, so I know probably some of us maybe have especially me, I thought he was gonna be the guy replacing Brendel at center. So
go ahead, Brandon.
Sikel's might go guard.
Yeah. No, I was going to ask you guys real quick. How'd you guys feel about signing Sam Darnold?
I mean, we wanted another quarterback on the roster, so we don't have the issues that we had again. We're losing as many quarterbacks as we did. We would have had a chance to probably win, with a better chance to beat the Eagles at NFC Championship if Darnold was in there instead of
Josh Johnson.
Josh Johnson.
Yeah.
Darnold would have had a better chance than Johnson. So, I mean, I don't have a problem with it. It's funny how some 49er fans, they get all squirmy and they're like, oh, we brought in Sam Darnold to compete, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, no, he's there to be the third-string quarterback. Or the second-string quarterback until Purdy comes back. So,
Yeah. Mariah, I know you watched Steph's show today with the doctor from ESPN. What were her thoughts on?
I didn't get to watch. I only got to watch part of the Purdy. I was getting ready for 2 shows today, so.
Okay. I was just gonna ask you about the whole Purdy surgery and everything.
I didn't get to catch it all yet. I have to go back and watch it.
Never mind then.
I don't think it changed from where Matt Miyoko had the doctor on his show talking about Purdy
Mhm.
a few weeks ago, about a week and a half ago. So I don't think, unless something changed that I'm not aware of, but according to that doctor, it sounded very promising. I don't know if you guys seen that Matt Miyoko a piece where he had the doctor on, and he spoke pretty positively of what's going on with Brock. And I guess they put a tape now on the elbow, which is supposed to allow him to move it more easier. And he really believes that he'll be throwing within 3 months. And it's really up to, one thing that he did say that they have data when it comes to baseball players and pitchers in particularly, but they don't have that much data when it comes to quarterbacks. So they're learning and collecting data. But you know what I find kind of interesting, that I think there's only been 3 quarterbacks to ever have that surgery or have that issue, and 2 of them have been on the Niners roster. Nick Mullins being one of them, and then now Brock Purdy. It's like, what is that, man? How is it the Niners are so plagued with situations like this? And I hear doctors like, oh, that type of injury hardly never happens. It's very rare. Well, shit, it's happened twice to 2 different quarterbacks under this regime. So it's like, I gotta wonder, how rare is it really?
I think the way we treated Joe Montana at the end, that motherfucker put a hex on us.
No shit, huh? You send me away. Although I'm glad that Steve Young took over.
Yeah,
and we won
but
the Super Bowl. But
yeah, I know. It's like we had that Super Bowl, and after that, there was like a hex on the quarterback position for the 49ers.
Well, at least he came back and retired as a Niner. For what I heard yesterday on the Pat McAfee show, Mr. Aaron Rodgers is not going to retire as a Packer ever, because he's little hurt.
He wants to play for the Jets.
Yep.
Yeah.
So they can't. They apparently can't seem to figure
How
out
is Aaron
competition. Since it
Rodgers
hasn't happened yet.
hurt?
His feelings.
Aaron Rodgers
physically.
strung them around every offseason for the last 3 years, and he feels he got dirty. Oh God.
Yeah, he's a narcissist. You know how narcissists feel. That they always they're the ones causing problems, but they feel victimized by others. That's part of that. He's like, but according to him, according to that show, he said he wants to play for the Jets, and the only reason why he's not on the Jets yet is because they're working all the fine issues between the Jets and the Packers, and Packers want compensation for him.
You saw the list that Aaron Rodgers wants on.
He said that wasn't
was
true.
bullcrap.
He said that he didn't do that.
Yeah,
I call
he was
BS
actually
because
pissed off about it.
Rodgers is selfish mother effer.
I mean,
Yeah,
I think the Packers are trying to get Sauce Gardner, and the Jets are saying
Done
fuck
already.
no.
They were already had
Because
that going.
they're probably
Yeah.
out trying to get Sauce Gardner, and the Jets are like, "Fuck you, we're not giving a generational corner to you." You
Yeah,
son
Yeah,
of a
why
bitch."
would you do that?
Yeah,
That was
exactly.
stupid. You don't give a
Stupid.
generational player like Sauce Gardner
not
away.
for a quarterback that's going to be with you for maybe a year or two.
An aging quarterback, yeah.
Even if he does give you the probability of winning a Super Bowl, but there's no guarantees that Aaron's going to win you a Super Bowl, and then you get rid of a corner like that. Christian, you're right. No way they're going to give up on that.
Yeah, because it's not like they're going out there and getting Lamar Jackson, who's still young.
But you can't blame the Packers. They want to know. The Packers are sitting there like, how desperate are these Jets really? Why not throw out, a question like, send us your best corner. It doesn't hurt. I mean, it depends on how desperate the Jets are, but apparently they're not. So good for them. I mean, because they have always been a desperate team. They have made some desperate moves, the Jets in New York, man. And I can't imagine being the Jets sitting there picking. I mean, we don't know what we have in Trey Lance, but because of injury. But when they took Wilson at number 2, and then a couple of years, even though it wasn't the same regime, they took Sam Darnold.
Do you think that you're pausing, that you're muting your mic because you're not?
Me?
No, Ryan.
Really?
As he coughs in our ear for the 1,000th time.
Can-
Yes.
I'm sorry. I got a little button that goes green and red,
Oh
so I
my
thought
god.
muting. My bad.
That mute doesn't work, bro.
Yeah, it doesn't.
Well,
You
now
mute it all
I
the
know
time, it doesn't
that.
mute.
I wasn't trying to do it on purpose the whole time, but okay.
It's like we keep telling you you're
Holy
coughing
shit.
in our ear every show.
No, that was like a
She
time
loves you.
was meant. I know.
I said it earlier when you coughed too. See?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear it.
I'm not in this one. I was too busy talking.
Exactly.
But, oh my god! And it's funny how they're running on top of each other. Get her, Mariah. Poor Ryan. Ryan's like, I'm gonna seek therapy after this show.
Poor Ryan comes just to cough in our ear.
But anyway, so I don't know what's gonna happen with him. Who cares? He's not our issue. Our issue
All
is
right.
that.
So here's my next question for you guys.
Oh shit! Okay, go ahead, Brandon. Take over.
We talked about.
Son of a biscuit. I'm like, shit. All right.
Sorry, Mule. Sorry, Mule. So we talked.
Pretty much.
I'm just kidding.
Now you did it to Vettel. No, they both laughed.
Anyways, as I was saying, we talked about the acquirees that.
Did you
Can't
just
hear
mute
you
him?
now. Yeah, I can't hear you.
Really, Beto?
I'm sorry. You started it, bro.
You started it. I just finished it.
Hey, I got a Mexican standoff.
Ándale, pues.
Anyways,
You and your cheeseburger. Talk.
we talked about the acquirees that we acquired, right? So let's talk about the departures. Who is the most surprising player that left this team besides Emmanuel Mosley?
Brandon.
I already said it.
I said besides E-Man.
I
So give me
Jimmy-
another one.
I think Jimmy Ward, personally myself. I think he was a long tender with us, the longest tender. Now we don't have nobody on this roster. But
From the Jim Harbaugh era, right?
yeah, I think Jimmy Ward is definitely one that I feel that, hopefully Isaiah Oliver can come in and transition smoothly to that spot, or give Womack competition or push Womack to step up. But if you ask me, not that anybody did, especially Brandon, but Jimmy Ward is one that I'm probably going to feel the most, even over E-Man myself. Because he's so versatile. He can play safety and corner. E-Man just plays corner. And then Jimmy's been healthy for the most part. Not the way he started his career, but oh, you bastard. Really? I didn't even pay attention. But just your laughing gave it away. Yeah, I think he pooped in his car.
Not even.
Oh, look how fast
All right.
he responded.
All right. No mames, okay?
I don't know what
All
you're
right.
talking about.
Anyways,
Go ahead.
Stop.
okay. Anyways, Mariah, who was your biggest surprise?
Well, since you said surprise, I'm gonna go with Daniel Brunskill
Okay.
because I wasn't expecting that he was gonna get signed somewhere. I was expecting that Aziz was leaving. I was expecting Jimmy Ward to leave. I was expecting all of them to go somewhere.
Mhm.
I was expecting that we were gonna keep Brunskill just because he's been that backup guy that we've kept along the line that filled in for us for so long. It feels like. And yeah, so I was surprised to see somebody else swoop him up from us.
All right. Media?
Mike McGlinchey, no, JK.
You know what?
That's why Arizona lost.
That's what he gets.
Yeah.
Mentioning Mike McClinchy. Get out of here.
That's why Arizona lost right there.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, it's
Mike
because
McGlinchey.
of our president. Okay, I'm not gonna say anything else about that. But anyways, I'm gonna agree with Mariah, Daniel Brunskill, because I knew obviously Titans they have Rand Carthon as their GM, but I still didn't think he was gonna take Daniel Brunskill because I thought Daniel Brunskill would want to stay on this team, to continue owning his father, Aaron Donald, and so that was just very shocking because he's been, he can play that tackle position, both guard positions. So definitely Brunskill was surprising.
Yeah. What about you, Ryan?
I actually do kind of think personally it was Mike McGlinchey. The reason being is the 49ers management is so enamored with him. Like, well, he's a really good. You go and look at Christian McCaffrey busting with the boys. Talk about, I don't know why he gets all this hate. So not that it was, I had a feeling actually restructuring contracts to try and make it McGlinchey to stay. I had a feeling that they were going to let Brendel go. And I didn't think Colt McKivitz was going to be their guy at right tackle or the way. And I thought they themselves in a wall thinking that McGlinchey was their only choice at tackle. So McGlinchey was my surprise. When he moved on, I was like, oh, wow. Even, he even said, everybody started the restructures was. He says, don't be surprised if they're reaching people to try and keep McGlinchey. I thought it'd been a chance.
Could you imagine how that the faithful would have lost their freaking minds if they would have paid Mike McGlinchey all that money that the Broncos paid him?
Yeah, man. $50 million guaranteed.
Holy smokes.
You got the Raiders, you got the Kansas City Chiefs, and the Chargers just in there. Oh my God, we're happy that they take Mike McGlinchey because they're gonna just knock him on his ass. I mean, I understand that right tackles, Mike McGlinchey, a top 15, if that, is going to get his money, and good for him as a person. Good for him,
Yeah.
but
Mhm.
get your bag, man. Never against a player getting his bag. Get it how you can. Now, is he going to reward the Broncos? I think he's going to give. But then again, Russell Wilson shitted all over the Broncos. I don't think Mike McGlinchey would do that as bad as Russell Wilson. So they'll get some production from McGlinchey, better than Russell, man. So we'll see what happens over there. But I'd be interested. No, I did not want to give him that amount of money. I know I don't like McKivitz. I think McKivitz is not better than McGlinchey, but for $50 million guaranteed, I'm glad that they gave it that money towards Javon Hargrave. Imagine not getting Javon Hargrave and keeping freaking Mike McGlinchey. Yeah, it would have been fun. So
I would have
There's a
been
poverty
I'm glad that
franchise
they
move.
went
I'm
the
not
route they
really
went.
surprised though how much, like it is still a lot of money, obviously. But the thing is, the right tackle market there wasn't really like it was literally him and the guy from Atlanta, McGarry or whatever.
Yeah.
So
Well,
it's like the teams always need right tackles, so I'm not really surprised.
Now that was a market, and you pay.
Well-
You got to pay the market price.
the problem is when we had let's see, I'm having a blank on his name. Brunskill, his best position was right tackle, and we never played him at right tackle. He's either guard or center or something. And it's like, if he had stayed, I would have rather put him at right tackle. He actually
Yeah.
played his best football at right tackle, and then we could get him cheap, possibly, and put him at right tackle. But for some reason, we never thought that was a good idea, which I don't understand because he's a better right tackle than he is a guard or a center. So
Brunskill, yeah. Them letting go of Brunskill though, that reassures that they're feeling very, very comfortable with Spencer Buford at the right guard spot. So that's a good sign for him. But I don't know, man. That right spot worries me with McKivitz going into that. I'm glad they brought in Jake Brundle back. I know a lot of people are not so high on him. They're like, they could have got better, but I mean, he did not play bad for his first year starting at center. Didn't play great,
Four
but
more
didn't
years
play
of,
bad.
false
Huh?
starts and 4 more years of false starts and running around to block nobody.
But
Nobody-
those false starts
That
are
was
like at
his-
the beginning of the year.
yeah, he
And
got
he
That
got
was
better
his
at the
first
end.
year starting. That was his
He had
first
like
year
12
starting.
he had like
He had 3 freaking quarterbacks. Like, come on.
And only
Like,
gave
give
up
the guy
one
some
okay,
freaking
sack.
break.
Okay, explain run around the field not blocking anybody, just looking like an idiot, like a chicken with his head cut off.
It's
Explain
his
that.
first
That's-
year
he did that.
starting.
First year
Yeah,
starter.
you act like
He's
that
not
was
the
a
rookie.
continuous thing. Like,
First year
You act
starting.
like
Yeah,
he was
that was
in like
basically his rookie year.
starting for like 3 years or something.
Okay,
like we
I
can't
mean-
have an
I mean,
MVP at every freaking
even a
position.
rookie shouldn't be freaking running around as a center blocking nobody, just looking like an idiot.
Now,
I'm
how
sorry.
many games did he do that though, Christian? Let's
Yeah.
be honest. How many games
Enough
did he go?
games. Enough. I saw it enough times to be annoyed by it. I don't remember exactly how many games, but I saw it enough times be annoyed by it to not really want him to come back as a center. But I might feel differently than you guys, but I just think he's mediocre, and we continue to build a mediocre offensive line other than Trent Williams. So it is what it is.
If he was making $30 million guaranteed,
Yeah, you can't pay
then I could
everybody,
see a
bro.
reason
Come
to
on.
bitch
Yeah.
about it, but
Well, no, I know that.
paying
I know
left
that. I'm
tackle
just
when you're paying a left tackle as much as we're paying Trent Williams, we can't get
And now we brought in a
great guys at
tackle.
the other positions. If we
Yeah.
paid left tackle, more mediocre left tackle, we could have better other O-line
mean,
positions. So,
it's I get it, but
Price
I
to
also
pay.
think we could draft. I feel like we can draft a center in the
oh, definitely.
And they
we
probably
can.
still
come in
will.
and come in and play better than Brendel. I mean, like
I agree. We definitely need to draft.
Well, they signed him for
Positions.
4 years, but they can get out of him after the second year.
Yeah.
And
okay,
if
I mean that's good.
and if the
I-
rookie comes in and really, if they draft a rookie and that rookie just really takes off in OTAs and training camp, then you know what? Now you have a good backup in Brendo, in that position. So I understand why they did it, and I understand the other guy that they didn't go after was going to be like 6 million instead of 4. But Brendo knew the offense already. He played it in 1 year. And the line wasn't that bad. I mean, it could have been better, but the line played pretty damn. I mean, better than what I expected if coming into
Mhm.
last year. They would. But my main concern, honestly, is the right tackle. No, it's not even center. It's the right tackle.
Yeah,
If
I mean-
McClinchy can't, I guarantee you, Christian, not McClinchy, but McKivitz doesn't play good there, you're going to forget all about our center because all that attention is
true.
going to be on that right
Yeah.
tackle.
but that's the thing. That's the thing too. Is if we start with McKivitz, we're kind of fucked because he's terrible. Like we were all done with McGlinchey, and he's worse. It just that's what sucks is I think that the draft this year is deep enough with right tackles, but maybe we find a diamond in the rough. That's the one good thing about offensive linemen. It doesn't really matter where you draft offensive linemen, just because they're just corn-fed, big, burly motherfuckers, and sometimes you just in the fifth round, and they kick everybody's ass. So that's why I feel good about center, but I feel like it's not really deep at right tackle. And no matter where we take one in our position of drafting, we're going to have to reach for one. Hopefully that won't matter. And like, again, we find a diamond in the rough, but it's hard because I think if we try to get a right tackle, we're definitely going to have to pass maybe some other players that will be good for, good to help the team too, that are better. And we're going to have to, take a right tackle a lot earlier than maybe we should, just because it's not really deep. And it's like the biggest need we need on offense. So
let me ask the panel this, and Ryan, if you want to go ahead and go first, you can on this question. We need to take care of the right tackle. If the Niners find a very suitable trade to move up to the first round, and we trade away BA, Brandon Ayuk, in order for us to go get a really good tackle, is that something you guys will be willing to do? Or since BA is already a proven commodity and you really don't know what you can get from a draftee, would you rather be mediocre at tackle and know what you have in your receiver, or would you take that risk and trade him away? We'll start with Ryan. We'll go Media, Mariah, then Christian, and then Brandon.
So that's that's not something I'm doing whatsoever. That's a lot for a little, I would say. Like, not only you're talking about move up into the first round, trade him away. How many first round picks are we getting? I mean, what's
One.
the compensation? Because if you're talking about move up to the first round, talking about just move up to the first round for Ayuk now. You know what I mean? I'm looking for at least a first and a second, or at least, because I'm trying to replace an Ayuk with that. I think people
Okay.
we can plug and play with on the team. Like TL was talking about, move Burford over to right tackle, Poe at guard. That's great. Moves over to guard. There's lots of things. Yeah, I trading BA is just on the books for that.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Appreciate your thoughts on that. 49er Media, what's your thought process on that question?
I'm not trading Brandon Ayuk because, I mean, look at him. He's a great receiver. He has a connection with Trey Lance. At least that's what we think, you know. At least that's what it was in training camp. And so I'm not trading with Trey Lance's, you know, favorite receiver. I'm not, you know, trading him unless, look, I'm listening if I'm John Lynch, but you have to blow me away with an offer. You have to just, you know, totally give me a crazy package that just makes me go, wow. Like, I'm not trading BA just for, you know, going up and then drafting a right tackle. Yeah, I'm not doing that. And I personally, you know, I know Burford has experience playing right tackle, you know, it's in college, but just as a rookie, you know, he was playing right guard, and you know, even though he did play right tackle in college, it's at a different level, right? You know, he's playing NFL, you know, edge rushers, and so I wouldn't move Burford to right tackle just because he's still getting that right guard spot, you know, figured out, and you don't want to mess with a young, you know, guy like that, you know, where you're moving him around a bunch on the offensive line. So I'm keeping Burford right where he's at.
Gotcha. Appreciate that. Mariah, what's your thought on this? Is something that you would do if you were the GM or no?
Absolutely not. You can package a couple of those third rounds and move up into the second round if you're set on getting a right tackle in the draft. You can get a starting right tackle in the second round. There's no need to even move up into the first round to get a right tackle. If you trade away Brandon Ayuk to move up into the first round, you're trading away your only playmaking regular wide receiver that you have on the team. So that would be kind of crazy if you're planning on going on a Super Bowl run. You're trading away your main weapon. So I'd much rather, like I seen somebody talk about trading away Debo next season. Like that's more where I'm looking. But yeah, if you're talking about making trades to move up for a right tackle, I'm packaging some of those thirds that we have to move up into the second.
Fair enough. Interesting thought process there, Mariah. What about you, Christian? You put on your helmet
I'm
on
not-
of GM.
I'm not trading Ayuk for anything. He should stay a Niner for a long time. I mean, we haven't got to see his full potential yet, but it's honestly because of the quarterbacks we've had. And
True,
you know,
true.
so and he's a traditional number one receiver. That's the thing is, like, I would say, like, Debo's my favorite player on the Niners. I've been a fan of his since he was a rookie. When we drafted him, I was a fan of his. But if you're going to trade one of the two receivers, you trade Debo because Debo's type of game doesn't last as long as in the NFL, to where
Good
Ayuk
point. Good point.
is going to last a lot longer in the NFL as a number one receiver. Debo does everything, but Debo's a gadget guy. And, you know, his thing is, you know, catch the ball and run after the catch and everything, but eventually that's going to slow down. So if you really had to trade one of them, you trade Debo just because Ayuk can, you know, be a number one receiver for a lot longer. So I think it'd be stupid to get rid of Ayuk because it's hard to find a number one receiver in this league. And he's definitely one. And it's been a long time since we've found a receiver like him to the caliber of receivers we've had before, because what caliber like after T.O., I don't think we've had that great of a number one receiver. I'd say the closest in talent would be Ayuk, and I mean there's still a big jump there, but in between Ayuk and Terrell Owens, who's really stood out, So I think Ayuk can really beat one of the best receivers in the league. It just hasn't fully happened yet, which I wouldn't say is his fault because he's wide open almost all the time because he's one of the best route runners in the league, but doesn't get that recognition because every time he freaking burns somebody on the route, the ball's not getting to him. And so he's not getting the recognition he deserves. Like that time he freaking smoked freaking Ramsey, double cooked hammed his ass, or double cooked pork like they have for Chinese food. Fucking smoked him. Anybody doesn't get the ball thrown to him. Like those kind of plays are the plays that, oh, this guy's a number one receiver. Look at this. Like, oh, this guy can run routes like Devontae Adams, but he doesn't get that because half the time that he's not catching the ball when he's making those, those plays because the ball doesn't get thrown to him. So he definitely has the potential and the talent to be a full-on top 3 receiver, number 1 receiver for this team. So I don't see any way you could trade him. And if we did, that's just would be a terrible move.
Fair enough. Brandon, what about you, brother? Would you trade him or not? And if you're not, give me a good explanation why you would keep him.
I wouldn't trade BA at all. Like Christian said, and everybody else, basically, he should be a Niner for life. And we're still seeing his progress as a wide receiver as well. I think I agree with TL though. I think we could put Burford at right tackle and what's his face at right guard. And who knows, maybe the Niners could make another splash and possibly sign another free agent that's a right tackle or whatever, if there is a right tackle out there. If not, I mean, I know Christian said there's not deep enough depth in the draft for a right tackle, but it's worth a shot as well. But I can't see BA getting traded away. Maybe Debo, like everybody else said, but BA is going to be a Niner for a long time, I feel like.
Yeah, I agree. BA is one of those, like Christian said, he has great route running ability. He can always separate. I mean, Kyle Shanahan can get you open himself through his scheme, but this guy can do it on his own. I love BA, and I want to keep him for a long time as well. I heard someone mention about moving Burford to right tackle. I don't know if I would do that personally because I think he just finally got his feet cemented in that guard position. He's feeling now comfortable, and he's going to run with it. You move him to right tackle, now you got to start him all over again. You know what I mean? And I just think you keep him at guard where he's feeling now comfortable and let him do his thing. That way we can just concentrate in one spot instead of worrying about 2 spots now by moving Burford over personally myself. And I think they will bring somebody in, in the third wave or second wave. They might bring in someone that can or draft somebody. We'll see what happens in draft. And Mariah made a very good point earlier about we have 3 third rounds we can package, or maybe even offer Kinlaw. I know he doesn't have that big of a value because of his injury prone ability, but maybe there's a team out there that will give up their second for a third and Kinlaw or something like that we can move into the second round and maybe start looking around at a tackle. One thing I do know for sure is that John Lynch and Kyle are putting their heads together and really trying to figure this out. The fact that they noticed and they swallowed their pride that they screwed up with the Buckner trade. They're like, you know what, we screwed up. We experiment. I mean, I don't blame them for what they did because they were hoping that Kinlaw would have been the guy. If Kinlaw would have been the guy, the Buckner wouldn't have been felt the way we have felt it for the last 3 years. And then we also got Ayuk that we just all talked about how much we love Ayuk, and we wouldn't trade Ayuk for shit. If it wouldn't been for that trade for Buckner, we would have never had Ayuk potentially because of that first round that we got. I would like to know and ask the panel is that knowing that John Lynch screwed up, whether John Lynch, Kyle, both of them together screwed up, and that the fact that they swallowed their pride and says, you know what, Buckner's not it. I mean, excuse me, Javon Kinlaw's not it. We can't trust him, and they went ahead and paid and brought in Javon Hargrave and gave him the almost exact, if not the exact contract that they would have gave Kinlaw. I mean, excuse me, I'm getting names confused. Buckner. Do you feel that back then it would have been a little bit harder to keep Buckner because the cap wasn't high enough yet, and 3 years later the cap went up, and we were able to do this now with more easier than it was if we would have did it? Because a lot of people are like, they should just give the money to Buckner, and we wouldn't have been in this place. But people don't realize financials, how things are when the cap is different back then than it was today. So people got to take that into consideration. Christian, your thoughts on getting Hargrave now compared to keeping Buckner financially? From a financial standpoint.
Yeah, we couldn't keep Buckner then. We chose Armstead and we couldn't keep Buckner. We could have easily, chose Buckner and then traded Armstead, but I almost wonder if that decision was partly because we could have got the high first that we did. It was like the 14th overall pick that we got for Buckner because he's better than Armstead. So maybe that's why they picked Armstead and trade Buckner, but they chose Armstead, decided not to keep Buckner because we couldn't keep both of them. I think if we were able to, money-wise, keep both of them, we would. But there was no way that was possible. They were both first-round draft picks, drafted 1 year after the other in high first-round draft picks. So we just weren't able to make it work. Money's different now, so we were able to go and get Hargrave, but it has nothing to do personally with Buckner or the player he is. It's just money. It's just how
Correct.
it works. They made their decision, and that's how. Would it have been nice to keep Buckner? Yeah, but because they couldn't afford him, they tried to, do what they could to, make the best decision. Sadly, they didn't pay him because they couldn't. They made the decision, and it really didn't work out because we got Kinlaw, and he kind of hasn't panned out. So,
and you're right, and people got to keep this in mind. And I'll pass it over to Mariah. People, and then I'll give it to Ryan, and then 49er Media. People got to keep in mind it's not as easy as just saying Armstead or Buckner. They kept Armstead because Buckner's definitely the better player than Armstead, but the Armstead suited the Niners better in a sense where they backloaded his contract. He was much cheaper than a Buckner, and people need to understand that it's not like, who should we keep? Should we keep, A or B? It's not as simple as that. Buckner demanded more money, more front, and against the cap, it would have been more against the cap for Buckner than it was for Eric Armstead. So the decision was a financial decision. Of course, Buckner's a better player. So it's not like they let go of the better player over the worst player. It was just a financial decision, and then they were hoping they would replace Buckner with a young kid, and it could have been Kinlaw. Unfortunately, it wasn't. And anybody that thinks they should have took War they needed to replace Buckner. They were not going to take an offensive player when they needed to replace Buckner. So they went with the D tackle. Now, the part that I don't agree with the Niners is that they knew Buckner had injuries or knee issues, and they still chose to take a risk on him compared to anyone else. That's the only part that I don't agree with the Niners, and they screw up. So, Mariah, let me ask you, financial standpoint, do you think they should have kept Buckner, or do you understand why they did it? And now we have Hargrave. What is your whole thought between? Because I know I hear a lot of people doing comparisons. The money's the same. They should have just kept Buckner. Do you think it's as easy as that?
No, it's not as easy as that. I 100% understand why they couldn't have done it, why they didn't keep Buckner. I do want to say good for them for righting the wrong and not making us live through another season of Javon Kinlaw starting in that spot. biting the bullet, whatever freaking phrase you want to use, and just going out and getting Hargrave to fill in there. But yeah, I mean, so many other moves happened and other things fell into place, and this happened and that happened and this had to happen and that had to happen. And, you know, like so many other players were kept and players, you know, like 30 other freaking moves happened in between there that wouldn't have happened if we would have kept Defoe. So, you know, like I just think the fans need to get over it. DeForest Buckner himself is salty and needs to get the fuck over it. Like, you're 6'8", whatever, however big he is, like, and salt and full of salt. Like, I can't even believe it. You know, like it's crazy. Like to have him come out like after we're signing players in free agency, the team he hasn't been on in years, and he's coming out the day that we do it and saying something about it. Like, what the hell? Like, that's just crazy. Like, oh, that's the same amount of money my contract was. They could have given the money to me. It's like, get over it already. We didn't. They didn't, you know, like they couldn't. But yeah, I
Yep.
mean, Armstead's contract was laid out completely different. And yeah, I completely understand. I'm over it. I would have loved for them to keep him. I loved him, and like as a person, he was great. You know, like we know how much he meant to all the fans. We know that the fans were heartbroken when he left. But I mean, you just have to get over it.
And that's the difference between being a fan and being a business.
Yep.
And John Lynch is, you know, he can be a fan and like a player, but they have to make business decisions that are not going to always fit everybody's narrative. They're going to make decisions that people don't like, but that's why they get paid the money they get paid to make those decisions. Ryan, thank you, Mariah. What's your thoughts on this whole thing? Should have they kept Buckner? You know, over getting Hargrave now? What is the whole process of what happened from letting go of Buckner into now picking up Hargrave?
So probably gonna get fleeced for if Buckner was the best. With the wide 9 football line, it normally is weakness is the running, so to run straight at it. Of course, Buckner at getting pressure, getting sacks. He's not in the run game.
Good point.
Who we needed to keep time to keep our defense from giving up yards. So that if they knew they had a guy right now to depend on to do that, so they kept moved on for Buckner. If they would have had in the wings, you know what I mean? Like if Eric Armstead would have been year before, you know, maybe we would see them both on the same team at the same time, but that's not how it went. So unpopular, but I think get rid of DeForest Buckner was the best decision.
But yeah, I agree.
Draft pick. Going after Kinlaw with it, trying to replace the same person that you are getting rid of. And yeah.
Now, keep in mind, in college, Kinlaw was a better run stopper. So I can understand why they would go for Kinlaw, because he stops the run much better, way better. He's a way better run stopper than Buckner is and will be. Unfortunately for Kinlaw, is just his medical. It's what's keeping him from doing what he does. But that's a very good point that you brought out, Ryan. And in this panel, we're all entitled to our own opinion, whether people agree with us or not. We speak how we feel, but some people will agree, some people won't. But I encourage each and every one of them in the panel to always speak your mind, because this is how you feel. And I hate when people hold back how they feel because they're afraid what the response is going to be from the viewers. Not everybody's going to agree. Half of the people never agree with me, not to be disrespectful, but it's my opinion. And so I'm glad that you brought that on, Brian. I appreciate you giving your spill. 49er Media, what was your thoughts on it? And real quick before you go, Christian, did you already speak on this? Okay, I lost. Thank you. Go ahead, 49 Media.
Yeah, so I mean, definitely Armstead was like the cheaper option. I'm sure they looked around and were like, okay, if we give Armstead kind of a deal and then, they end up trading him after that, like do like a sign and trade type of thing, they probably weren't going to get the same amount of, like a first round pick, from Armstead. So I think maybe that's a possibility. And it's just, we got to move on. It is what it is. I mean, it happened, we got to stop crying about it,
Tell them,
Yeah.
brother. Tell them.
just stop crying about it, I've moved on to, like, it doesn't matter anymore. It is what it is. And also Buckner's got to stop being salty about it.
Yeah. Yeah, he's they gave me, I just noticed they gave him the same amount of money they would have gave me.
Yeah, like what?
Because like the
hell? Shut
structure
up.
would still be different.
And just for the record, Eric Armstead had a better year with us than Buckner had with the Colts. And I'm not talking about just sacks. If you're looking at just sacks, then you're looking at this position completely different than I see it.
And what about how much the cap's gone up since then? Like,
Yeah.
it goes up every year, Like, what are we doing here?
Yep. And then you got to work with the Niners. You got to work with Parag. You got to be able to take backloaded money and push it back, and you got to take bonuses. And maybe Buckner. And again, I'm not against players getting the bag. If Buckner went out to the Colts and got his money, good for him. I love
Yeah.
Buckner as a person. You can't dislike him. The guy is great character. I love him. But just in a Madden, you can keep both of them for as long as you want. But in real life, you have to make business decisions. Unfortunately, move on and see how not to hurt your team in the long run. And I love that John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan have the balls to make decisions like this, even if people don't agree. But Brandon, we're gonna finish the show with you. Your thought process on this comment, and then go ahead and let me know when you're done so that I can close that out for everyone.
You talking about this comment that we have up right now?
No, the one from last week.
Oh,
Yeah, this one.
freaking Beto, dude! I swear to God,
I
give
love
me
you,
a hard
brother.
time all freaking night.
We want to know about the paint on your walls.
Yeah,
Brandon,
paint
bring it on
walls.
yourself.
we want to know
Brandon, you
what's
do-
vibrating next to you in the seat.
We want to know why you don't have a house and you're living in your truck.
Brandon, you
So
bring it on yourself.
I'm actually out. I'm out here waiting for my friend because
His
she had a
imaginary
meeting.
friend.
She wanted me to go with her.
You
So
don't have
that's
friends,
why
and you sure don't have a
Ooh.
female friend. So
I do have a female friend.
I'm your only
Pam-
female
Pamela?
friend.
She was right across the street from me.
Yeah, look at Christian. So-called friend, yeah.
But
She's your friend because she can't get away. She lives across the street.
She has,
oh
no,
shit!
she has no legs. She has no legs in a wheelchair.
Damn,
Even her,
the
she gets
shots are
away.
fired tonight, man. What the hell?
Damn,
Ryan's still
poor
sitting over there with
Brandon.
a sour puss look on his face. Look, he's still
No,
mad.
Brandon can handle it. He's
I
Italian.
know.
Anyways, though,
Void
The
of
Gambino.
anything.
He's the Gambino, guys.
Yeah.
He's the Gambino.
He's the
49ers
Gambino, yeah.
I'm like, is he? I thought he's Hispanic.
No,
I
he
am.
has
half
a lot of
Hispanic.
Hispanic in him.
He's half
but he's not.
Hispanic and
I'm-
half Italian.
yeah, I'm Mexican Sicilian.
Okay.
But anyways, that comment about the Eagles defense being better than ours is that guy has something up his culo, so he's tripping. The Niners defense is the number one for a reason. So lay that shit to sleep. All right. And now that we have Javon, we're gonna be top notch, baby. Just be scared, be ready, be scared, because this season this defense is gonna eat.
Like Brandon did earlier in the car.
Yes, I did. I had some sushi and it was phenomenal.
Oh, you
And also, I wanted to bring up real quick before we leave. What's this nonsense about the media bringing up Lamar Jackson should go to the Niners? And if he
Facts.
does,
Bro,
if he
I don't want
does,
to get into
we
that.
will win it all.
say it again.
I don't want to get into that. Who cares?
Okay. Okay, I didn't hear the question. So, but based on Christian's reaction, I guess it's not even worth having you repeat it.
Lamar Jackson to the Niners,
Oh,
and they're
my
saying,
God, that's okay. I hear you. Christian.
"Isn't that crazy? That's ridiculous, dude. Honestly,
Now, why are you bringing it up?
I
No,
because
don't
I
Brandon,
wanted to
we're
get your
trying
guys' thoughts.
We're trying
I
to go
don't like
home.
I don't like
we're trying to
Lamar.
end
I
the
don't,
show
like,
for you
I
to
don't
start
like
it
him
off.
as a passer. We don't need Lamar. No.
Nope, we don't.
We don't need.
And
We're,
how
we're,
are we
we don't
gonna
need to
get?
worry about.
How are we gonna pay him? How?
Exactly.
How are we
How?
gonna trade for him? Yeah, we have
Exactly.
Mr. Nicholas Bosa.
Yeah, we're
John
giving
Right.
20.
Bosa.
We're
Yeah.
giving 21 to Hargrave, and we're going to give up on 30 to 35 for Bosa. Yeah,
Yeah.
let's bring Lamar. The reason why they were able to go
Hey,
out and
but
get Hargrave
Hargrave's only a
is
6
because
mil
we're not
cap
paying
hit.
quarterbacks any money yet.
But also Hargrave's only a 6 million cap hit. Just saying. for this
6.6,
year.
correct.
Yeah, for this year. So
Yep. All right, guys.
Wait,
wi-
real quick to answer Throwback's question, real quick. I'm gonna say an A. So far,
I say incomplete because it's not over. It just started.
exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree
We'll
with
go
that,
back. We'll
Mariah.
get back to this. We'll come back to this when
Yeah.
it's over.
yeah.
A good question, Throwback. Good question, but it's not
Incomplete.
done yet. We're not done yet. Once OTAs, once draft is over, because we don't know what we're going to do in the draft, and I consider free agency part of the draft. It's just different. So anyway, we're going to finish the show. Beto he can handle it. Yeah, he can, because he's Mr. Italian. He's
The
Rocky's
Gambino.
friend.
John said he
Gambino.
pissed his pants.
I better keep quiet because he's gonna send me. He's gonna go send. Brandon's gonna send me. Swimming
John
with the
V, then
fishes.
why are you even here, bro? If you're pissed
Oh,
off, man?
dude, that's great. That's fucking great.
Yeah, you gotta love John.
Oh,
man. John's
man.
an awesome dude.
John B said you opened that sushi container 3 times after you finished.
Oh my gosh.
and now his friends coming in the car. He's gonna have
Oh
more.
shit.
He's gonna have more sushi.
No
The car
more.
already smells like rotten tuna.
Hey,
Yeah,
hey, second dinner.
What the hell,
Second
Mariah?
dinner.
He's gonna have dessert now.
Hey,
Dude,
no,
you
no.
on,
Wow.
you on, really, you all are on
Beto.
really
Oh,
Brandon's
shit.
kiss.
Beto,
Shit.
he's a hobbit. He's about to have second dinner.
There you go.
No, I'm not.
Yeah.
One of the boxes was Masubi, okay?
Andale caliente. You like the hot stuff.
Oh,
Anyways, let's end it.
Let's end it before Brandon disappears. All right, guys.
Shit.
And once
Into
again,
the
thank you
abyss.
guys for tuning in to another episode of the 49ers Podcast Network. A lot of things are happening with the Niners. We can't wait for next week. Make sure to let your friends and loved ones know about our channel every Thursday at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Make sure to follow everyone on the panel. Everybody's channel, if they have one, is in the description below. Click on it. Go and support them. I just want to thank Ryan, Mariah, 49er, Amelia, and Christian for participating tonight with us. And
Media, this one's for you.
Milk Dud. What's up, Joey? And thank you, Milk Dud, for being part of our show
Holy
tonight.
shit.
Appreciate it. He left. It's okay. Don't get hurt.
His fillers get hurt easy, guys. So be careful.
Really?
Nah, it's just that
Alright.
'cause, something happened today, so.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, don't be calling Milk Dud, Joey. Behave.
because it's
Emilia, we-
Milk Dud too.
Whoa.
Oh,
John
shit.
B, you're a rock star too.
Yep.
Yes, you are. We missed you tonight, John.
Yep.
We sure did, brother. Get well, because we want to have you back next Thursday at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Everyone, thank you once again. We're gonna go, and you guys have a wonderful evening. Let's see what happens between now and next Thursday, and be blessed. Love one another, and go Niners. Peace.
Stay faithful.
Go
Oh,
Niners.
Peace.
let me get back
Peace.
to that. Where's the ending thing? Oops, sorry. Should have been ready. Where is it? There it is.
Come on,
Later,
Mule.
guys.
We already said bye.
And we're done.
I
Alright.
hate you all.
Did you get that?
Hey.
Did you get your pants
Fucking
out of your
guy.
ass there, Christian?
Hey, what?
Did you get your pants out of your ass? I saw you stand up and pull something.
Yeah, I was just adjusting. Sometimes
Yeah,
we can
yeah, you were like,
get a little sweaty, swamp ass.
andale.
Swamp ass.
That's my fault for asking too. So does it really bother you when they call you milk?
Oh my god.